Hi everybody, it's Talia here. I'm doing a bit of a flip through of an art journal that I've just finished a couple of weeks ago. You can watch the first half of this flip through. I will put a little link up here so that you can watch the first half of the book, and now I'm going to do the second half of the book. Hopefully it won't take too long because it was more than half that I did, I think. In the previous video I just had the background done of this one, and you can see that just with black paint I went through and put a little quote over the top, and I think that was a nice, fairly easy way to finish off the page. Here is a page that I did with lots of texture and things like this. You can see that it's ripped a little bit, there's stuff on there. Doilies and stuff like this. This was a page I experimented with. I'd done a stamp in the background, a stamp that I'd made, and then I just wanted to experiment a little bit with doing blobs of colour, and I did some trees and I quite liked it. And this is one, I had a real break from doing any art journaling for like a week, which might not seem like much, but I find that I'm much better at doing art when I'm doing it really consistently, like every day. And so I follow lots of beautiful artists who do like making mark type things, and I wanted to do that, though I don't think I'm particularly good at it, but I did it. And then I just painted picture over the top. I've just been experimenting with male pictures. I have done lots of male pictures without beards, and this one was a beard, so I guess it's kind of, was thinking of my husband when I did it. Yeah, I really love how this turned out in the end, this page. This is a page called A Gentile in Synagogue, and I just did a really loose line drawing with black ink with a really stiff brush. So it was a brush that it was a thin brush that I had used for painting and not washed properly, so it was all really thick and hard, and then I used that to paint this person, and I had a picture on my phone that I was copying. I probably wouldn't be able to just draw that by itself. And then I did all these little different Hebrew letters in the background as well. And I like that it was after our first day going to synagogue, and I don't know, for me, I love it. I love this page. It just completely sums up perfectly what the day was like. This page is called Parenting with Hashimoto's, which is a disease of your thyroid, basically where your body destroys your own thyroid, and it's an autoimmune condition. Some days it's fine, particularly if I'm doing all the right things, and other days it can sort of get on top of me and it's not fine. I printed out this picture of a girl from the internet and stuck her down as a collage piece. I guess you can sort of see that I've done that, and I think that's fine. I added this white around the edge just to make this stand out a bit. Originally I'd had a lot more background stuff done. Okay. This page is inspired by Wilna Furstenberg, and you'll find a lot of my pages are inspired by her. But I wanted to chose this. This was again a printed picture that I took off the internet, but after I painted it with acrylic, so it was quite covered over, and then I just used a fine black pen to redraw it, and it looks more illustrated. I think that's a really nice thing. I love this wash effect. This is with the acrylic inks. The Liquitex brand is the one I used for this, and this was Prussian blue, which is absolutely beautiful. I just love that wash look. This one is again just experimenting with making marks. I'd used a a round stencil that I'd made to do some marks on there with modeling paste first, and then tried to do it again with the acrylic over the top. This one is watercolors. This is one of Wilna's illustrations that you can buy to use for your art journaling. I used the Dear Lizzie stencil with modeling paste underneath, and then use the gold. It's a really thick gold paint that I have to go over the top. And I want to experiment with pages that, well, that looks really, it is straight fold, that flip out. So I did that, and this is what I did on the inside with all the hair coming together. I don't think I've ever really shown this one, like shared it on my Instagram, but I really like it. Opening it up was a nice surprise today when I had a little flip through. This was some nature journaling I did with my kids. I had a really fun time doing these. These are inspired by Julie Faye Fan Bolzer. I'll tag her there. I did some like Jewish symbols, pomegranate, shofar, the Stars of David. Just had a really fun time then filling bits in with watercolor and experimenting with what I had created and what it could be. Pomegranate and a heart. This was pretty intense to do, but I really like how it turned out. It's really, I don't know, it's a bit trippy. This is a portrait of a girl that I did. I really like it. Sorry to say that I just really like my own stuff, but I really like how it's a bit loose, and then even when I've drawn the lines over the top again, they're really loose as well. And I did another girl. These were like the first ones I was sort of like, I can do this, I'm going to experiment with this, and I really love them. And actually all the people that I've done after this, I've never had them look like that again, because I guess these don't have, this one has a little bit of shadowing in it, but this one's just all the one color, and it's definitely a particular look, you know, and my other ones you might see later on are not like that. This was a jelly printing that I did, and then experimenting with using a Sharpie to do some things. Another jelly print. I used just like big strips of cardboard over there to get these sorts of bold lines, which I love. This one is a sunset. I did this during a lot of the fall feasts, which I like, you know, by that I mean like Jewish feasts that happen in the autumn, and they all start at sunset because all of our days start at sunset, and so the sunset was particularly relevant to me at that time. Another jelly print, and then I've done a few stamping bits and some marks over the top. Another jelly print. This one I've used, like, this is a ghost print from a Dear Lizzie stamp. Let me put this on the side. See, yeah, you can see that. Lots of ghost prints on this over and over and over again. And then I just did some white. I think originally I thought I would journal on it, but yeah, that never, I think I like it how it is. So, focus. This one I did do some journaling just over the top, just how I was feeling. This was an eye that I did. Love to do another one of these actually. My uncle passed away, and I actually drawn this eye during the week, and I sort of wasn't sure like why I'd done it or if it meant anything. And then I just came home from his funeral. I was really upset, and I guess I still am fairly upset actually, and just sort of wrote this. I felt like, oh, this page sums up how I'm feeling now, so I just wrote that on there. This page, sorry, you can, that's from the next page come through, this is a shofar that I drew, like a still life, painted it, and then these are the different sounds that the shofar makes, and these are them spelt in Hebrew, and yeah, I just repeated it over and over again. They're not in the order that you blow them at. This looks not so great now, but it looked great when I first did it. I'd drawn it in black pen and I hated that, and then I'd painted over the top, but as you can see, the black paint has really the black marker has really come through, and that's a shame. I might try to paint over the top of it again, but it might just keep going through. Anyway, I'll just I wrote a letter basically to my uncle who died, and that was actually a very therapeutic thing to do. Again, well, these are all really personal pages. I've totally forgotten about that. So I'll just sort of show you the top of this was like modeling paste, and then I actually just used for this background like the cleaning off my brayer after doing jelly prints, and then again some of this gold and yeah, some whites. This is about my uncle as well. This is a page I did experimenting really heavily with texture. So this is, can you see? This is with texture paste. It is just like loaded with texture paste, and then because it says in there make art, I wanted it to look kind of like a paint palette, so that's what I did. And actually I did use it as a paint palette for this page, which I don't know, perhaps isn't finished, but kind of is. Like, it's just a really nice, fun, colourful page. This was again one of the pages I did just to get back into the swing of it after a break. This is a sort of type of vision board that I did. Things that I'm connected to. I'm part of the Get Messy community. I've just joined for a season at the moment because that's all I could afford, but last year I was part of there for the whole year, and I'd love to do that again because it really is great. And the season this moment at this time is connection, so these are also the things I felt connected to and wanted to sort of put out there for the future. This one has so many layers, so many things happening, but I like that. It's nice. This says Hag Sameach, which is the greeting or thing, sort of means like good festival, good feast, good holiday, this sort of stuff. Yeah, that was sort of with a card, pulling the paint down, some smooshes, just really loving having the random bits of background and then making it into something. This one I put the music down first, drew this girl in the background. I think we might just have one more page left. This page I did ages ago. It was something I found in a magazine. These are these soldiers at the Western Wall, and then this is them there back again as old men. And I just sort of wrote a thing about Jerusalem and how I hope that I always remember Jerusalem and love being there. And yeah, that is the end of that art journal. I hope that you liked it. Let me know if you'd like to see flip throughs more, or if there's a particular page that you like that you'd love to see process videos of that type of picture. Thanks.